I've just launched a real product in one day. And to prove that it's absolutely possible to launch a product within 24 hours, I documented the entire journey in this video. Hi, Brandon here. I'm sure you've seen other videos where someone built an app in a few days or a week and made a lot of money. They're interesting to watch, but they often feel more like a showcase of success than a tutorial on how to actually make it happen. In this video, I'm breaking my one-day launch down into 4 steps, so you can not only see how I launched a product in a single day, but also replicate the process and launch your own in 24 hours. I'll keep this as non-technical as possible, so you can still enjoy this if you are just interested in seeing what the process is like. I think that's enough intro. Let's get into what this product is all about. As of now, I've already launched 3 products within the past 5 months. And by the time of this video, I've already launched 6 products in the past 1.5 years since I started building in public. So I think I am pretty fast now at launching. None of them took off. But hey, just tell me if I was fast. The truth is, there is one has started to show some initial results, and I've started noticing a pattern from my past experience. There's a lot of repeated work in every single launch, like creating similar landing pages, going through the same user login and dashboard setup, wiring up the payment system, and deploying a similar backend. And it's been eating up tons of time and effort whenever I want to launch something new. These tasks are almost identical every time, and if you're spending 50% of your effort doing the same setup over and over again, it's really just wasting time. So I started collecting all the tricks and repeated setup that I have to do each time, and turning everything into an ultimate launch skill that I can simply plug into my coding agent and ask it to do everything for me. This launch strategy is what I've personally been using over the past few years. As I kept validating and improving it, I eventually turned it into a strategy that I can use to host products for free. Free. Yep, actually free. I'll explain why at the end of this video. I'm not here to teach you how to build $1 million product. If I can do that, I will be doing.
And then in a weekend, I built an app that now has made $6,000 in its first month.
This as well. So what I am showing you is how to launch products fast, so you can validate ideas quickly and keep iterating until you find one that works. I call this skill Launch Now. And the product I'm launching today is actually this Launch Now skill, launched with Launch Now. Now, before I dive into each step, here's a quick walkthrough of what I'm about to show you. I will use this skill to launch a real product from zero to live. This skill automates almost everything you need to launch a product, like creating landing page, adding user authentication and dashboard, writing blog articles, maxing out your tokens in just a few days so you have a real excuse and can scroll your phone for the rest of the month. It can also set up the backend for Stripe payment handling. This skill will also generate a complete deployment suite with automated scripts, so almost everything can be deployed with a single command. So now, you don't even need to max out your monthly tokens before switching to your phone scrolling mode. To do that, you'll need to install the AWS CLI first. I'll only use a subset of this skill's capabilities for today's product launch, and I'll go over the tech stack after the demo. So by the end of this video, you'll know not only how to launch a product in a single day, but also exactly how it all works. First, let's build the product website with a single prompt. Yep, that's right. Not days, not hours. I want to see the full website as soon as this prompt finishes. Because that's exactly what this skill is all about.
Say my name.
We expect to see our product fast, like really fast.
You're goddamn right.
So I'll simply tell the agent to build a website using this Launch Now skill, and I'll also provide a little design inspiration that I created in Lovable featuring a pixel-style rocket launch. Yeah, because it already saved me tons of time, so now I get to waste it on some fancy graphics. And with the limited guest credits, this is all I could get from it. But that's okay. Let's just drop it into the prompt and see how it goes.
5 minutes later.
When the skill finishes running, it generates a simple but complete product website built with Next.js. All the information shown right now is just placeholder content because we haven't told it what the website is actually about. So to fix that, I recorded an elevator pitch on my phone and asked ChatGPT to turn it into a .txt file. Then I'll simply reference that file in the prompt again and ask the agent to fill in the actual content.
A few minutes later.
So now it looks good to me. We've got a nice little website that's ready to be deployed. Let's not waste any more time before finding some actual users. For the next step, we're ready to deploy. The skill has already generated a deployment suite that contains everything we need, along with a checklist that we can follow step by step. If you can't find it, just simply ask your agent with skill attached, what's the next step to deploy it? Quick reminder, we'll need the AWS CLI. Simply install it from AWS and configure it with your account credentials. Then you should be good to go. Now, I'll just run the script. And while the deployment script is running, I can work on creating a logo for my product.
5 minutes later.
Now the script has finished running, and it gives me a URL, and I can already see my product website live. In less than an hour, I already have a minimal product website live.
Tight, yeah!
Let's take things to the next level. I'm going to add blog pages to the product. This is a common trick used by many products out there. If you wonder why and whether it's absolutely necessary, well, no. It's not something you must have, but it's definitely something that can help. A little bit. The idea is that blogs are a search engine optimization strategy. You can create plenty of articles to cover a wide range of keywords. So, when someone searches on Google for a certain topic or problem, they might land on your article simply because it's relevant to what they're searching for. To add this feature, I simply tell the agent to use this blog feature subskill, which contains the complete blog setup on top of our existing website. I'll simply reuse my elevator pitch again and let the skill extract the information needed to create articles explaining how Launch Now helps you ship and validate ideas quickly. So I'll reference that file in the prompt and hit enter. Now the agent has finished running. I'll push the code changes and wait a few minutes while AWS builds and deploys the updated website. Meanwhile, I'll get back to my very important and highly intricate logo design.
Later.
And now, I can see the new blog pages live on my product website. Maybe I should add some good images later. Finally, it's time to bring my product online and hopefully make some profit. There's a subskill included for this as well. I'll simply reference this product code feature subskill, which creates another set of backend services that handle the Stripe payment flow and GitHub invitations to a private source code repository. Most things will be wired up automatically, but be warned that there are still a few manual steps for security reasons, like copying over your Stripe secret keys, webhook endpoint URL, GitHub access tokens, and so on. Just like before, once the skill finishes running, it will generate detailed instructions for all the remaining setup steps. I'll simply follow those instructions and run the deployment script whenever it's needed. Or you can also read the skill.md file directly for the full instructions. They're pretty easy to follow, and if you run into any issues, feel free to leave a comment below or send me a DM. Now I'll run the deployment script one last time, which should update our backend again to enable the Stripe payment feature. And this time, I can finally finish up my very important and highly intricate logo design. Now the deployment has finished. I'll refresh the page, and my product is finally online. We can click it, and it takes us straight to the Stripe checkout page. Our launch is looking pretty solid now. Of course, there are still things that need polishing, and we haven't connected it to a real domain yet. But as you can see, it took me less than 2 hours to launch a real product. I think you can already see the potential of this skill and just how much work it saves. Honestly, I'd much rather spend my time on more important things than boring back-end setup and integrations, like making this rocket look nicer. So after spending the rest of the day polishing the design and connecting everything to my custom domain, please allow me to introduce my new product, Launch Now. To give you a better idea of what you can get from Launch Now, it's time for a quick tech stack introduction. This skill builds a fully static website with Next.js. The reason I do this is because it's a simple way to get great SEO benefits. Search engines can easily crawl all of that static content to understand what your website is about. For the backend, this skill creates the entire backend you need on AWS using a serverless architecture. It integrates Supabase for user authentication and Stripe for payments. All sensitive information is securely processed in the backend, so you don't have to worry about security issues in your front-end code. If you're already familiar with serverless AWS architectures, that's great. If not, no worries, because this skill handles everything for you. But if you're interested in learning how it works behind the scenes, I also have another video explaining how launching a product with a serverless AWS architecture actually works. And one of the biggest benefits of using this setup is that you'll barely see any monthly hosting bills. So now, let me explain why I said this is basically free. To keep it simple, all of the AWS services used by this skill come with generous free tiers, including S3, CloudFront, Lambda, and DynamoDB. With this setup, your hosting costs can stay essentially at zero if your site gets under roughly 100K page views per month. Supabase also has a generous free tier, and Stripe itself is free to integrate. So what you're getting with Launch Now is a way to rapidly test all your ideas and MVPs for free. Build fast, launch fast, host for free, skip all the repetitive setup work, and finally get to enjoy those Sunday afternoon walks in the park again. So that's Launch Now, deployed live in less than 2 hours. A skill you plug into your coding agent to build faster. Skip all the repetitive launch chores and get a product website online without rebuilding the same setup every single time. It's my years of experience condensed into a single skill that can help you build and launch much faster. So if you're an indie hacker building products or planning to launch something soon, make sure to check out the link in the description. This skill will keep getting updates because I'll be using it myself for all my future launches. So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.